G'day YouTubers, and thank you for tuning in to today's very different video on YouTube. I'm sorry that I can't do that much very illustrious and very good videos at the moment on YouTube because, well, I am making a video but my eye is very relatively sore, so I'm very sorry about my very painful eye at the moment though. It's this side eye here, it's this eye here. Maybe I should never pick it. My eye is a little bit red, piping red hot angry, that is, my eye. So I'll just probably leave it, but in this video I'm going to be doing something what I would actually call this a sequel to the vlog that I did on the 21st of September, which was all about Microsoft Paint, and I'm going to show you some very elaborate and very illustrious hacks that I can do on Microsoft Paint, and I found them rather here, but there's also like a little Microsoft Paint animation footnote type hack thing, and I found it on a Twitter/X page. If I go to webcam, look at this. I found making sure that the camera orientation is looking good, I suppose. There you go. I think this is what we could have had. I think this is what we had back then on the good old days of Microsoft Paint, but not today's. I wonder why Microsoft Paint of today lacks this unique little feature to do animations like Procreate or Photoshop, or maybe like, you know, I don't know if Photoshop can do animations. I heard that Toon Boom and Adobe Animate or Flash can do animations. Maybe Adobe Premiere and After Effects can also do some elaborate animations as well. But let me just go ahead and move the camera nicely because, well, I've just found some very impressive little hacks, of course, which will be very, very nice. And yeah, that'll be interesting. Very, very nice. It's kind of nice to know that what I can do with Microsoft Paint is that the first thing I might do is a gradient effect, so I can go ahead and try and do something very nice. I think I can open Paint and select the work area size as your requirement. Hopefully I could film it. I could try and cut the image diagonally and fill in two colors. Hopefully I should try and fill in two colors with, maybe I've got a very unique little technique. Maybe I could try and do like, there's different ways of gradiating colors on Microsoft Paint. I'm pretty sure you can do that too. Yeah, hopefully there'll be some different gradients on Microsoft Paint. You can either do like a triangle, or you can do like a rectangle, or you can do like different techniques as well too. And I don't know how much I could really say to myself. That would be very, very nice. I can also set the image width to 100 to a height of about 500. Hopefully that will work with pixels and colors. I'll try and see what I can do with Microsoft Paint. See if I could do like, you know, blue integrating with yellow. Let's see if I could try and do that. I don't know. Maybe I could try and do like the Ukrainian flag. Let's see if that will work. And then let's try and do like this. Will that work? Oh no, that's a bit too big. But let's try and do, I don't know, let's try and do this. Hopefully the horizontal is going to be like so. I don't know, maybe about 1 in 500. Oh no, it just increases the size, but I thought it was just going to decrease the size. Maybe if I try and do something like 1 to 100, hopefully that might work. Let's say this, percentage-wise. Oh no, it doesn't seem to work. Maybe if I try and resize that again. Maybe if I try and do 101 again. Will that work? Not sure if this would potentially be like the actual size of it, but if I try and, I'm just testing little hacks and stuff so that I can just, you know, show off my prowess and all that stuff that I've got. And I'm just doing my best just to show you guys the different hacks that you can do on Microsoft Paint. Because Microsoft Paint, well, unfortunately, as I can say this again, it does not have the animation features it has via, like, compared to, like, let's just say, like, Adobe Animate or Flash or Procreate or other animation software / program that we have at the moment. And yes, it is Sunday, so it's going to be a day of resting, which will be a very good thing because I'm preparing for college via tomorrow, and I've got about 10 to 11 hours of activeness in the day. But let me just go ahead and do something. Let me try and do something very, very nice. Let me try and Go ahead and resize it. Let me try and stretch it out again. Let me do 500 again, the 500% maximum of it again. Let's try and do this like so, but let's see what happens. Oh, that's a very interesting gradient. But let's try and do 500 and 100. Let's try and do 600. And if I try and do that 500 to 100, that's a very totally different way of gradiating the colors. Maybe 100. Okay, let's see what we have. If I try and maintain... Oh, look at that. There you go. There's a bit of gradiating which looks like that. Like so. But what I can do, as another difference, I can also... Well, you can also... There are two different ways that you can actually grade. You can have like 5 squares. Or in this case, you can also do that. Oh my goodness. You can also... There's also another... You can actually remove... You can also try and repeat the process multiple times. You can actually use like marker as a way of gradiating. And be patient in the way of gradiating as well too. Let's try red and yellow, because that's like mixing with orange, isn't it? So we can make like a fiery type effect here, right? If I try and make it like a fire effect, who knows? Maybe I can change that into red. Let's see what happens. And if I select this all, and maybe I don't have to, maybe change it to like 1, and then let's say 500, and then I can change it back up again into 100 and 500, maintain the aspect ratio, get rid of it of course. Look at that, this is another way of gradiating. So this is how I usually do gradiating. There's like a fiery colour type gradation that we've got, and now I'm going to increase the size to about the actual size that I like to have, which is this size here. It's a fire type gradient. Yeah, I'm going to call it fiery gradient, which will be very nice. I'm saving different gradients I like, which will be very, very nice. It's a nice way that I'm just doing gradients like that, so that I can use them as like texture effects when I'm making objects move. Next one is I'm going to show you how I invert the colors. It's very, very simple. You can just select them all, or you can just select a specific part of a picture, and you can just do that, and then the color would just negatively mirrors the other colors itself, so it actually, you know, inverts and, you know, and negatives the color like so, if that's a proper way of saying that in English, of course. But there's also another way that you can also do, and that is tracing over an existing picture of such. You can actually trace over an existing image over another picture, so that you can just, you know, you can just draw over the specific image that you're drawing onto and make it as if it was part of the actual image itself. So I do this, and then I can also do that there as well. And of course, yes, this is so much of a newer style of Microsoft Paint. I mean, the older style of Microsoft Paint would have actually liked different tones of brushes. And there's so many ways that I can really hack via Microsoft Paint overall in general, which would be very, very nice. Yeah, that's actually interesting, and it's something, of course. But what I can do is this, of course. Maybe if I try and... I'm just trying to, you know, make things elaborate and make things very well explanatory as how they actually are, and that's how they're like. And it's very surprising of how much stuff I'm doing is all about my prowess of doing, of all the things that I like, and of all the stuff that I really love to do is not just animating, but as a, you know, as a hobby, of course. I certainly enjoy it so much. Maybe I can just draw another box like that. Maybe that could work, although it doesn't seem to be, you know, that much of interest of late. But I can do just that. It's actually quite nice. I'm just doing like a very neat and very, you know, lavishly detailed looking Microsoft Paint type of drawing, and I'm just doing this as a way of, well, it's not the most perfect, but I'm trying to attempt on doing like a very good Microsoft Paint rendition of a certain drawing that I'm doing. And this is how I seem to draw pictures in my way of doing stuff, because, you know, I am a bit of a nutter somehow at drawing pictures and stuff. And, of course, when it comes to the Microsoft Paint, well, there's no right or wrong, so you don't have to really play by the rules, because, you know, art is just art. And anyone can be very creative, you know. And very nicely, as you can see, I'm just tracing over the shapes. But I'm going to do something like, wait until this whole thing is completely traced. But there is one thing I can actually show it to you. Like, let me just go ahead and copy and paste that part of the image. And if I copy and paste it, like this, and if I, you know, deactivate transparency, maybe if I try and do a different one, if I try and do that, ta-da! It looks oh so different. But there is one way here. Of course, yes, you can actually trace over the images, but there's also another thing I can also do while inverting it, of course. I can also make the image, well, you can't make it transparent, but you can make it, I'll show you something. You can actually make a specific image transparent, but like if I can go ahead and select it, and if I select transparency, it only does the line itself, which is a bit strange, but that's how I do it somehow. Okay, so what was I thinking at the moment? I can try and do like this, but I feel like I don't have to have too much time. Maybe if I try and grab this, and if I go ahead and maybe just invert the color, I don't know, maybe if I try and select, oh, I don't have to select it all, man. Maybe invert the color, and then just go to black and white. I can just simply trace over an image, and then I can just click on, there's a bit of warning here, it can't be undone, but I can change, and I can go back into colors. Let me just go ahead and click on OK. So there you go, you've got a template of yourself, and then you can invert the color, it goes back to an actual template. So let me just go back into color, because I want to show off my prowess of what I've done so far. Let me just go back to color. There you go. It's gone back now. It's looking nice, isn't it? So I've just gone back into color. It also prevents other backgrounds from guarding a specific template of whatever item you're just replicating. Let me just show you another hack that you can also do. And I'm just talking, oh god, freaking hell, that just scared the crap out of me. Ah! That was uncanny. Okay, so I don't want to look at something that was just too freakish, you know, realistic photos, of course. You can also go ahead and clear away some outlines, and look at that, you can actually do that. That's very, very simple. You can actually clear away some outlines, and you can also make things texturized, like I've done with a bird beak. If I type in, let's say if I look at a hornbill, and there's a hornbill beak texture, I'll show you, there's a bit of proof to you that I've just done it all by myself. And it really is raining outside, so that means I can't head outside at the moment because of just how stupidly wet it is. So there you go, this is my hornbill. I've just successfully, oh wow, it's just turned sunny now. I've just successfully copied and pasted a specific image of a bird that looks like that. Sorry, my chair is making a bit of noise because of me. So I've just basically did a nice little copy and paste method of just, you know, how would you say, I'll copy and paste a specific image in the sense that, hey, sorry I'm feeling tired here, eh? But what I've done so far was I've just copy and pasted a specific image. So I've copy and pasted a bird itself. So what I've done with the bird was I've just drawn a picture of a bird, activated transparency, and then applied it to this image by actually copying and pasting it, made it smaller, and then made it fit onto the bird beak, so that it actually looks like it's very much small and very close to the size of the beak itself, which is a very nice hack. It also sort of avoids the outlines of the drawings as well too. It's the same thing with here, actually. You can also change the brush size and the eraser size. That actually works really, really nice. If I go ahead, let me try and do something. If I try and do the pencil size, if I try and do the brush size, maybe if I try and do that, maybe if I try and do Control and Alt, or Control and Plus, I don't know, maybe if I try and do brush size, it does not want to do that. Maybe Control minus, oh sorry, I've just jerked it, didn't I? Oh my goodness. Can also change the brush size as well too. That's amazing, I didn't realise that. You can also change the brush size. Maybe if I do it repetitively, will that work? Maybe if I try and keyboard tap Control plus to make it larger and Control plus minus to decrease the size. It actually works well with pencil and line and eraser. So let me try and do that again. If I try and do this, maybe if I try and do that, will that increase the size? No, I don't think it does. I might be totally wrong, but you can actually go ahead and make the brush larger or smaller. You can also keyboard tap Control plus to increase and decrease the size. Hopefully that might work. I don't think it is, unfortunately. Maybe if I try and do this, will that increase the size? I don't know. Maybe if I try and make the size of the brush, will that work on size? I'm pretty sure it does. Maybe if I zoom in, maybe the brush size can change. Decrease the size. I'm just drawing around here and it's not doing anything. I don't know why it's not doing it. And it says while painting, of course, yes, it does have different size. It does have a preset size of its own brushes and stuff. You can make them larger or smaller. I think so. Oh, is that a painting of Bob Ross? That is very spooky seeing that. Okay, of course, yes, I don't think I can do that, but I think you can do that as well by changing the size of the brush. Maybe I can, maybe I can't. Maybe I'll try and see if I can try and increase the size and decrease the size of the brush. Can I? I don't think so. Maybe I can. Maybe I can't. No, it doesn't work, I'm sorry. Maybe I could change the brush size. How to change the brush size on MS Paint? Will that work again? You can also get like custom brush sizes. You can hold the control. Oh, I see. You can actually click on plus on the on-screen keyboard. Oh, I see. Maybe if I try and hold control, if I go to on-screen keyboard, will that pretty much help? I'm pretty sure it does. Maybe it does or maybe it doesn't. I might be totally wrong here. Hopefully on-screen keyboard might actually work. Maybe it does. If I hold control, if I try and do this, no, doesn't do any effect, guys. Sorry. No. Sorry, does not make any effect, guys. Can you see the size change? Do I see any size changing? Nah. That hack is a fail. That is a fail. In fact, that doesn't work. The on-screen keyboard doesn't work. Or maybe, yeah, on the number pad. Maybe let's try the number pad. Let's try and do the number pad. Let me just see if that will work. If I hold the control, if I do this, will that work? Oh yes it does! Oh yes! Oh my goodness, finally! How did I not realise this? Oh my goodness! Oh my crikeys! How did I not realise to change the size of the brush? Oh my freaking god! Oh my god! Eat your heart out, Procreate! Wow! You can actually change the size of the brush. That is just amazing. That is just completely and utterly ridiculously amazing. I never knew you could do that. That is just amazing. I never knew you could just do a thing like that. That is just amazing. Anyways, there we go. I'm just gonna go ahead and select there. Here we go. Let's try a line. See if I could try and control it. and increase the size. Look at that. Look at that. I've just made it big. And then you can actually go back to its actual size. That is just amazing. Oh my goodness. I never knew you could do that. That's amazing. If I try and... Well, it doesn't work on here. But if I try this... Look at that. The size of the line. And look at that. If I try eraser, if I try and do this... Look at that. I can increase the size. And I can decrease the size. How crazy is that? I did not notice this. I didn't notice. That is just amazing. I never knew you could actually control and also change the size of the brush so much. That is just amazing. I didn't notice that. I mean, Microsoft Paint has own default sizes for all of everything, be it paints, brushes, lines, erasers, anything. Even the shapes as well. You can just change almost entirely of everything, no matter how much you can do. There are also other hacks I could also show it to you. Well, thank goodness it was a bit difficult, but thank goodness I found that hack to be quite almost difficult, but luckily enough I've done it. Okay, I can also make like custom brushes. Maybe if I try and choose this, I could actually make custom brushes as well too. If I select an image and if I press shift, I can also do this. That's just amazing. You can even make it into like a brush. Maybe if I try and paint this yellow. That's weird. Oh, I didn't notice that. That's just interesting. You can also just shift. That's interesting. You can actually drag this as well too when the transparency section is on. Oh, maybe not. Maybe I don't have to use transparency and stuff. I don't know. Maybe that's just me showing myself a bit of knowledge. That's how, you know. I don't know how much I could really do, but maybe if I try and select yellow. That's interesting. Oh my goodness, you can actually paint all over the image. Now that is amazing. You can actually use this as a brush. How interesting is that? That's amazing. If I try and select this, that would be fantastic. If I try and do that. How cool is that? I did not notice that you can actually use this as a brush. That's amazing. If I try and do this. Wow, I did not realize this. Again, I've actually tried this before, but I did not notice that you can just simply drag along using Microsoft Paint and then paint it as like a big brush. It's kind of like using a stamp as a brush, you know. A big picture as a brush. How unsurprising is that? That's a nice little hack. And there's also another one here. You can also use an eraser as a color replacement tool. Let me just give you an example. So if I go ahead and grab... Wow, look at this thing. This thing is humongous. If I try and control and... No, I don't want it. Oh, there you go. Minus that shape. It's interesting. The line shape often changes, doesn't it? That's interesting. If I do the smallest... That's quite small, hey? Did I actually revert back to their default line sizes? I can't really remember. So, let me just go ahead and do this. Which would be something. Let me try and do... I don't know. Let me try and do this. And if I go ahead and choose black... Let me try and choose black. And then if I go for the eraser... Oh no. I don't think I can do this, hey guys. Maybe if I try and choose red as a nice colour, and if I right click it, nah, it doesn't seem to work. Sorry guys. Nah, sorry, does not work. Maybe it does. Maybe if I zoom in, and if I, no, I don't want to do that. Maybe, I just don't want to do it. Maybe try and fill it onto the image, and then wave it across the image holding the right click button on your mouse. Oh, I see. Maybe if I try and do that. Does it do anything? No, it doesn't really work. I don't know what's going on. A bit stupid to actually tell. I can choose the colour you want to replace in swatch 1. So I think I can choose red. And I can replace it with black. Let's try this. And then... Oh, there you go. Oh, I see now. So it's actually in swatch 1. You have to basically replace with this colour from swatch 2. And there you go, you can get like cool tiger stripe like patterns. If I paint it orange, if I try and paint this orange, and if I make it like a tiger stripe, guess what happens? Look at that. That's what you call patterns, sorta. But there you go. There's some various different commands. There you go. Different, very useful commands here. I've already done that. Oh, not that creepy face again. There you go. You can also invert the colors, and you can also make the background transparent. So there you go. These are all the different hacks that you can use on Microsoft Paint, and it's a very versatile graphics software. And I mean, it's not as big as Procreate, but at least I found one particular technique, especially changing the size. And we've got a car horn. Oh yeah, change the size, baby, of the lines and the brushes and stuff. Look at that. Does it actually invert the size? I can't really remember. Maybe I can save that. Ta-da! It looks totally awesome. So there you go. I think that's all the hacks I've found on Microsoft Paint, and I'll continue doing my illustrious and laborious hard work process till the day I'll be sleeping peacefully throughout my life, and not my death. In fact, there's a car horn outside. But anyways, I think that's about it in this demo video of Microsoft Paint. So I think that's about it. Sorry I haven't done... Well, I should have shown you the top part though. I was just totally ignoring some of these bits here. I wasn't showing to you that properly because I don't think my viewpoint isn't that tall enough. But if you really enjoyed this video, please give this video a very good like, subscribe for more such videos in the future. And as always, thank you so much for watching. And I'm really sorry about my very sore eye. I can't make videos a lot at the moment now. So if you really enjoyed it, as always, thank you again. And goodbye. I will keep on touch of doing more toy reviews in the future. Hopefully by tomorrow.